Welcome to this video. Agroforests. Agroforests are key in the action plan for existence. The hybrid era. 12800 BP to 4000 BP. The hybrid era comes after the human era, or the ancestors' era. The hybrid era could also be called the ancient modern human era. Hybrids, taking over by means of a population turnover event certain parts of Indus Valley, displacing the Harappan, Myanmar, Indonesia, Tibetai culture, possibly causing or ingressing, through turnover events, the ancient Sumerian, Iraq and Egypt cultures. Tutankhamun is already descendant of the latest hybrid of haplogroup, R1b Romeo 1 Bravo, or the same haplogroup that dominates Western Europe and other significant parts of the world, and that altogether recently came from the Americas. But clinically, and for our purpose of resolving the perfect storm, we better call things for what they really are. In other words, the hybrid era, with all of us being hybrids. At the end of the hybrid era, the human thinking box, our thinking boxes, were defined or formed. It is almost impossible for us to get or think out of our personal, and this hybrid, collective, thinking box. Both are the same with regional and cultural differences. The personal and collective thinking box are pretty much the same. For now, I would like to put it this way: we do not have what we want, or rather need now, in our actual thinking box anymore. It was put out of our thinking box during generations of hybridization. That hybridization is the beginning or the best known part of our human history. Our history starts at the end of the many hybridizations simply because the last wave ended up destroying all there was, and that clearly was the intention. Once the hybrids had turned over Eurasia and the world, they very deliberately wiped out the world's history that was before. What was left over was deliberately wiped out. The monuments and registers, Sumerian-like clay tablets, etc., because the people and the cultures were wiped out with, during or because of the brutality of the population turnover event itself. Since all was destroyed, we are not the population and haplogroups that were before, because they were destroyed. We, the modern humans, are the descendants of the ones that destroyed all groups and cultures, and what was before and left no others to interbreed with. The start of us and all known civilizations, since 400 years ago, is not some nice story, culture, or history made by nice people. This time belongs to the hybrid era. The population turnover event, eliminating all that was, is not limited to humans. All megafauna animals were eliminated as well. Marsupial animals and world. Even what I call the marsupial animals were eliminated as well, in an important part of the world. What was left, I call the non-marsupial animals of the non-marsupial world, roughly all what is west of the Wallace Line, all the way to the west of Eurasia, let's say all the way up to the Atlantic facade, and that is exactly until where, more correctly, the other extreme of Eurasia, of the part of the world the destruction took place, the non-marsupial world. We hybrids started out so rough and massive that today the period of destruction is called the Younger Dryas, and is more known as a rapid ice age, 1,100 years, supposedly because of a meteorite impact. Just to memorize, think about the Younger Dryas as if it were a nuclear winter, or in combination with a nuclear winter, hence the after ice age, that we call the Younger Dryas. A kind of nuclear winter is described in several religions. From 12.800 until 4.000 years ago, ocean levels rose 120 meters. This rising and consequent tsunamis, when breaking in the Mediterranean basin and the Black Sea, are described in several religions and by Plato. The names, reasons and narratives of these events were given, vary quite a bit and do not matter in our context. What is important is that for the hybrids that caused it, this all was a pretty much well-controlled series of actions and reactions, or consequences, with a short, but radical ice age amongst them. The hybrids needed another 900 years to wipe and take over the last bastions, like the Eastern Mediterranean, and we know this as the Late Bronze Age collapse. At that point the climate of a large part of the world was destroyed, I mean radical climate destruction, and not climate change, as we experience it in modern times. This is the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Giving a thumbs up is also a way to know if you already assisted a certain video or not. I hope to see you in our next video.